Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so Scorpios, let's go ahead and jump on into this. We're going to take a quick peek at any of the little fine details because there's a lot of detail behind me in this backdrop, right? So we have a Three of Cups. I believe it is Libra who got this as well. Or no, maybe Virgo. I think it was Virgo. We are starting out with the energy of sitting down, speaking some truth. This is loving, this is sensitive, this is caring, this is soft energy, this is beautiful energy, honestly. But that Three of Cups is it's collaboration, it's friendship, maybe love. We have a Two of Wands and a Four of Wands. Somebody may be a big tea drinker. They may have a lot of flowers. They may go out for a breakfast or a brunch at some kind of like eclectic kind of cafe where there's different colored, pretty mugs and such for teas and coffees. It is morning related because we have the morning glory flower that only blooms in the morning. And we've got kind of the energy of like giving each other emotional bouquets. So whatever this conversation may consist of, everywhere we look there's beauty. Here we have, they're painting a new canvas with their beautiful words to one another. That Two of Wands is, I feel like this is a chance for two people to get things on track. This could be a married couple that is actually like rekindling their romance. So Scorpio could be rekindling a romance with whomever their person of interest is, or this could be talking about forever. This could be hashing out the details of, hey, what do you think? What would you want our life together to look like if we were to, truly join forces? This is talking about marriage, but not necessarily a marriage proposal. That's why I'm thinking that this could be Scorpios already in a committed relationship to somebody, and they're discussing with happiness and joy. They're discussing the truth of where they see the connection going. It's so nice to get a storyline like this because we don't get that very often. Hey, Dawn, great to see you. Hi, Rosemary. Thanks so much for being with me, you guys. I love the painting aspect of this. I love all the bright colors against, twice here we have like a very kind of dank, dark forest. But that's not what our characters are focusing on. This conversation that's taking place is all about the future. It's about the happiness. It's about how we want to craft the future, how we want to paint it. Somebody could literally be a painter specifically with oils. That's definitely an oil painting here. But it's funny because this actually looks like tempera to me in the cans. But in any case, and we have somebody painting like dahlias, or maybe that's somebody's name, or that's their favorite flower. But red and yellow in particular, somebody could have bouquets of flowers in their homes. Over here, we had seashells mixed in with bouquets of flowers and lots of like orange or peach colored roses and some irises, in addition to the morning glories. Somebody might have a little statue of like a little Cupid or a little angel baby somewhere as well in their house. One of the two of these characters could be kind of spiritual. They have a connection to the angels, but this is all very positive energy. Everything that's being discussed or thought about, or I would say it's talked about. And I do think it's either somebody is not talking to a lover, but they're just conversing with a friend or something about the context of, how you choose a great partner and how you build an amazing, long-lasting, satisfying relationship that lasts into the old age where we're using canes to walk. That it's all talked about with glowing energy. This is positive. The topic of relationship is very positive. It's not like, oh, well, then you get a crappy person, then, you can get married, but they'll leave you in 20 years for somebody younger. There's none of that. There's none of that unnecessary and like deconstructing energy. This is all about building and constructing. Four of Discs, which can be a card of, Four of Pentacles can be holding back, not in this deck. You notice this is all about fermentation. So we have this big old round of sourdough bread, and we got beer. Both of those things, they take a fermentation process, right? You start baking sourdough bread, you got to start with the sourdough starter, and the whole thing has to kind of, sour, ferment. Good things come out of the delays and allowing a little process to occur. We usually think of the word fermentation as like, well, sometimes we think of it as in good connotations, but not always. In this case, it's very positive. It's about like, you know what, when you're with a long-term partner, you start to, your relationship changes over time. It merges, it becomes, it takes on a new depth, a new flavor. The longer people are together, certainly, you know, what do they say? Like close quarters can breed contempt. But on the other hand, building a long lasting connection with someone, getting into that sense of familiarity, getting into the vibe where it's like, wow, I'm holding on to you for the rest of my life because we've merged energies and we're in a really awesome space, and we're starting to, like, if they're talking about wishes, about what direction they'd like to see their relationship go, this is a serious conversation, either for romantic partners that are both openly talking about forever. They're talking about what they view a relationship, a healthy, happy one, would look like for them, you know, and who's to say what's healthy and happy? This is just what seems healthy and happy for these individuals. So great to see everyone today. Hi, honey. You guys are so awesome. We got the two of discs here, or pentacles. These two are even talking about where they'd like to live. Where would they like to go? Should we live in my area, your area? This is a relationship that's going to start taking on more serious connotations. This is, I don't know if someone's going to surprise Scorpio with this serious conversation. Like, hey, I thought maybe, you know, we've been seeing each other for a while now. Maybe it's been 3 months, maybe it's been 3 years, but it's time that we talk about a few things. Like, are you thinking the way I'm thinking about this? Are you seeing us, you know, sitting on a porch swing together in old age? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So what does that mean for us? Should we start making some plans? You know, this is two people, I think, that are realizing they really want to be together. That's an awesome energy. That's different. We don't oftentimes get stories that are more about like just the good stuff, just people working together, having, you know, healthy, open dialogue about what do you envision our life together to look like? Where would you want to live? I got the Empress. Wow. I think by the end of this conversation, this very open, comfortable dialogue about the future, I think it's pretty obvious these two belong together. The Empress is the person that we marry. This could be the person that either Scorpio is saying, like, I already know we're ending up together, or after this conversation, Scorpio is aware that the only reason they had this conversation is because they want to marry Scorpio. Even if it isn't, you know, down on one knee with a proposal, the understanding is there. We're talking about our future. We're talking about what our future looks like. And what's on the table here is forever. We're talking about marriage, even if we haven't said the word. Oh, I love it. We have a Three of Wands as very much about looking toward the future. It's very, very much about, I feel like these two have known each other because we have dinosaurs running into the future. The dinosaurs talk about the past, but the Three of Wands is all about the future. I'm starting to wonder is this going to be turning out to be one of those storylines where this is like old flames, old childhood friends that reconnect as adults. And that's where they realize, you know, I've known you most of my life, and over these years that I've known you, something has changed. Like we're so good together. Or, you know what? I see you in a different light. I knew who you were when you were young, and now that we're adults, it seems so obvious, it seems so natural that you're the person I belong with. This very much, now that we've seen the dinosaur, this could very much be like characters who knew each other when they were 18 in high school and now they're 65. This could be a much more mature, much older relationship. And maybe that's also why it's such a mature conversation about like, hey, so what do you think? Where would you want to live? Well, you know, I got my grandkids over here and you got your grandkids over there. Yeah, but you know, mine only come to visit, even though we live across the street from each other. We only visit like at holidays. So it wouldn't really be too tough for me if I were to move and come live near you, Scorpio. You know, it could be like real, they're hashing out the details in this conversation. These are characters that are ready to start talking about things. Let me go back in time for just a second and say, how does this whole thing begin? Because we just jumped smack dab into they're sitting down having a truthful conversation, but we don't really know who the players are in this other than one has to be Scorpio. 7 of Pentacles. Again, this is now they're having dinner. I love the fact that these two eat a lot together. They eat dinner, they drink coffee in the morning for breakfast. This has been, again, long time coming, but long, like they've known each other for a long time. This conversation could begin one night over dinner and it follows through to the next morning because it's just like, wow, this really clicks. Okay, so we have a King of Pentacles, Man of Discs. Whoever this person is, sure, they could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, but they may have done something where they work with their hands. They could be somebody who works with like cement or road construction. That could have been their profession or still is their profession. They could do things like sculpting. They could work with like rocks, and maybe they're like an earth mover, or they drive a cat or something along those lines. But they seem to be very connected to the earth. They may work physically very hard as well, but the way they think about stuff is in a very grounded. They think about the baseline first, the sensible stuff, which is probably why it's like over food and drink, because that's, necessities of life. Meaningful conversations rise to the surface of their mind, and those meaningful conversations talk about, hey, what would you want to build? What do you think the foundation could look like for us? What would you want? Where would you want to live? They talk about the important stuff. They don't jump into the teddy bears romance, the fantasy aspect, and they're not down. Well, they are squatting, but they're not down on one knee to give a wedding ring proposal thing. They're talking about it in, I would argue, the more meaningful aspects of what a relationship consists of. It's not the wedding. It's not the ring. It's the relationship. It's the ins and outs of what's your dream look like for where we would live, how we would make the ins and outs of our life compatible. What would you like the future to be like for us? That, you know what? I love this character. I just love how earthy they are. I can see why food is important, building something of foundation is important, and they maybe think in a very I feel like this person is patient. They're logical. They really consider things with, deep thought. This is a very profound person, even though they may not come across that way unless you pause long enough to pay attention to the way their mind works. I feel like Scorpio probably has no problem listening closely to who this person is. We have the Chariot. They are definitely willing to move to be with Scorpio in this story. And that's where that is the origin of this. There's conversation of great substance about where are we going, because they're ready to move towards Scorpio. They might be ready to move to Scorpio's area. They might be ready to build a house, and they're thinking, well, I should probably think about buying property or building it near Scorpio. All of this it's very definite. My baby, I swear, he doesn't bark during the regular videos, and then I go live and he's like, oh, time for Aries to sing. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up because we can see these characters are doing really well, and I got to go check on who's at the door or who the baby thinks is at the door. You guys, thanks for being here. Lots of love. Good to see everyone. Bye for now.